Hello friends, how are you doing? Welcome back to Raving with Rua here on my YouTube channel, Songs from the Rua Room, dedicated to singer-songwriters from Belgium and beyond. It's great to see you all again. Thanks for joining us here. If you are watching live, please let us know where you're watching from. Drop us a comment up there on the comment section, be it on YouTube or on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider hitting that subscribe button. For me, gets the old songs out there and gets the message out and lets YouTube know I mean business on this thing. That'd be great. So thanks for that. As always, my YouTube, my PayPal link is on there in the YouTube links underneath. The PayPal link, which is the virtual tip jar if you'd like to help the channel out. You can also have a look at my Thoman affiliate link down there in the information section as well if you're going to buy some gear online. Of course, the shop is always open there on the RWRroom.com. You'll get links to the Rua Room shop as well. So lots of ways to support the channel if you feel so inclined. All donations greatly received. As always, tonight the stream is brought to you courtesy by my great friends over there in Kansas. G-sharpguitars.com, a Norwegian invented travel electric guitar. Check them out if you can. G-sharpguitars.com. Mighty little machines all together. So yeah, where are you watching from? Let us know if you have. we have viewers already coming in. Michiel is there from Belgium. Thanks, buddy. I'm going to try my very best to make you proud. If you have comments, put them up there. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you have questions from a guest or myself, indeed, I'll stick them up there on the screen. And that's how it works. So let us know if you're watching and where you're watching from. We're going all the way over to Detroit, and the last time I met this man we were in a hotel in Dublin doing shady deals over Kaiser Capos. He's laughing there. Enda Reilly is my guest. Please welcome him to the show. How are you, Enda? Are you there,
how are you,
sir?
Dahi?
Hello there.
How's it going?
Vic.
I rouse her fod.
Good. Did you like that little quip there about shady deals over Kaiser Capos?
Oh yes,
you did.
Yeah. Oh, you saved me there. I have to say, I can't do what I do without using capos.
Yeah, and, you're a fan of the shortcut, the partial capos. You've always used Kaiser capos, like myself, of course. But
yeah. Kind of different ones, and yeah, the Kaiser one especially. Though, what I figured was turning it the opposite way around.
Yeah,
worked as when you do it like any guitarist out there, you can do an A chord with 3 fingers. It kind of does the A chord for you, and
it makes an A. So you suddenly have a kind of an open G.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you can use a second capo, and then it just gets ridiculous. But sure, that's where the fun is.
It is. You do it so well, but you're of course you play a lot of dadgad. You play open tuning anyway, don't you? You play a lot of stuff in dadgad as well as standard.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're a mighty guitarist, and I've always admired that. But we're not here to talk about Kaiser Capos. We're here to talk about you and what you're doing. You went from Dublin to Detroit. Talk us through that, sir. A bit of a culture shocker.
So just over a year ago, myself and my wife moved to America. My wife is from place called Battle Creek in America. Battle Creek is famous for if it's famous for anything, it's famous for Kellogg's cornflakes. That's where it comes from. I think I thought Kellogg's did such a good job growing up. I thought they were Irish. Anyway, they're so we decided. Anne-Marie had been in Ireland for 20 years, so she's a dub as much as anyone's from. She's an outsider, really, because she was up there for a good while. So we ended up coming over last year, and I've been waiting for green cards and all this type of thing. And she got a job, and thank God she's able to work from home at the moment. So she's just back there working at the moment. So we're happy. We found we're in the outskirts of Detroit. The cities are so big here that they call a city. We're in Southfield, which is its own city, which is weird. Being from Dublin, it's kind of like going Rathmines is its own city or something, But it's because every area is bigger on the scale. So I'm just learning as I go. I never thought I'd be leaving Ireland ever. I don't really have that bug, but it was
first time to live abroad, is it?
Yeah, and like I'd never lived outside of Dublin, even, you know. So it's kind of,
wow.
it's yeah.
So
Well,
was
it's
a big
just,
culture shock, or
yeah, quite, yeah. But
yeah,
everything is almost the same, but not. Do you know what I mean? It's like switches go, instead of switching the switch down to put the light on, you have to go up.
little
It
things like
takes
that.
you
Yeah, all
6 months to get used to that, like, you know. And
and
I still go to the wrong door on the car, like, you know, if I'm not thinking.
yeah,
Be at the
fantastic.
passenger door going, close, let's just go around.
It's a bit like me when I go back home to Ireland. I do exactly the same thing. I get into the driver's seat, you know, going, no, you're not living in Ireland anymore. Down here in Belgium now. Yeah, I do the same thing. And how long did you say how long you been out there now?
We're just a year, yeah.
Oh, just a year.
We spent a good few months living with Anne-Marie's parents, they were a godsend. Without them, I don't know if we could have done it, to be honest. It's, you know, having somebody who's over here already to help out with things is an enormous benefit.
Of course.
Somebody coming in here on their own with no, am I gone, I think?
You're still there. I can hear
still
you loud and
there.
clear. Well, we can
All
hear you
right.
clear. Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
Grant, I don't know what I did to myself here. But
did you lose connection?
Grant,
Well,
once you can hear me,
we can
it's
hear you
all
loud
good.
and clear still.
Fine,
And
fine.
the people watching will let us know. I know Linda Cullen's watching there from the Black Forest, so she'll let us know if
How are you, Linda?
she has her eye on us. She'll be watching us and listening closely.
Great.
So if
great.
we have any kind of breakdown in communication, Linda will put the hand up, won't you, Linda, and let us know. Great to see you, Linda. Thanks for tuning in. That's a lovely comment as well, and indeed, Linda's a fine guitarist and songwriter too as well. But
Indeed, yeah,
thank you for saying that, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
Much appreciated. Before I forget, let's put your website up there, because we're here to talk about your music and your songs, and endareilly.com.
Thanks. Yeah.
If you want to go and check anything there, run over and do it. I know
Yes.
you have great. If anyone has missed Enda Reilly's live streams, folks, he does a great live stream show from his own Facebook page, and I'll put that up right there now as well. And the Reilly Music. What days do you run that?
I have Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Saturdays at noon my time. So that's.
So I can work that out.
Exactly.
Well, let me see. You're 2:00 there now, aren't you? And it's 8:00 Europe, so 7:00 Ireland.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
There you go, folks.
Yeah, my maths has left something to be desired for the last while, trying to deal with all the different time zones and all.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the there's a lot of people live streaming at the moment, I was going to say, and
right.
But your streams, you have it down to a fine art. You were doing it for a long time, and you stopped streaming, and then of course with this Corona thing, you got back into it. But I have to say, your audio quality on those streams and video quality is so good. And what's your secret?
Well,
for anyone who may be watching,
I guess I've been working. I've been recording myself, recording demos and then albums for years. You know, so I understand, and I've mastered I was playing with the Lazy Band for years, and I ended up mastering that album. And so I guess I understand all aspects of the audio.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, how do we get that into the computer to do the whole live stream thing? It's so that's the way I do it. I kind of want to have control over the audio here before it goes out, and I have the mics as well. So it's about, I guess, the whole compression thing and a bit of reverb. You don't want to have the reverb on while you're chatting to people, but and then you don't want to have it too compressed either, because the these things we have they're that I'm learning with video as well. They're so powerful. A tiny bit goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. Because I know you were saying the other day that you had, even for the video part of it, you had to adjust a little bit of the bandwidth or something, did you, to make it really stream? Yeah.
Yes, true. The thing I was using, I had to reduce, because I was trying to go out at too high a quality, and it's like, well, if you're making a video, you do want the big quality, but it seems it's all about the bandwidth. And to be honest, 11 years ago, I was streaming from Ireland. My wife was over here for a year, and that's what got me streaming initially, was to have that contact with Anne-Marie. It was great, but we had all the buffering issues of people only seeing, the time lag of, you'd finish your song, nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
And you're like,
and it was
Well,
just kind of dead
and then
air.
yeah, and then you're in the middle of your next song, and everyone's saying, "Oh,
And
that
then
was
suddenly
great."
it's like, great song, and you're halfway into the middle of
Yeah,
the next.
yeah,
Yeah,
but that issue is still there now. I thought that would be gone because of the bandwidth and everything, but maybe I don't know what's going on. But
well, I suppose these days, of course, everybody and his uncle is doing is streaming at the same time at the same place all over the world, and it's so
right,
even YouTube are sending me messages and other people who
yeah,
create on YouTube saying be patient with us because we're not able to handle the sheer amount of stuff coming through.
I get it. I get
Because
it.
they have
Yeah,
people at home as well trying to work from home, and so I suppose that's part of it. But look, you have so many
right.
great songs that I want to get through because I'm a big
Lovely.
fan of your songs and songwriting. So we're going to chat more, of course, but let's go
Yep.
straight into a song. Which one of the great songs. This is Life in the Button Factory, where the sweetest waters flow. Tell us a little bit about this gig and this song.
So this gig was I did a tour of England and Ireland with Stephen James Smith, and it was great. He's a good friend of mine,
Great lad,
and
great lad.
we did an album 2014, I think, where we did a kind of a. I think we might be hearing one of them later. It's kind of
I have it lined up.
a collaboration. But so I did. He asked me to warm up the audience for him, and we had cameras there, so I took advantage of the situation and recorded the whole gig. So I'll be releasing more from that gig as well
at a later stage.
Yeah. So this is where the sweetest waters flow, and it refers to fields and things my grandfather told me down in Mayo. My parents are both from Mayo, and we used to spend summers down there when I was younger.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's there's a kind of reference to him telling me about the black and tans. He heard the shots that were fired that came down the valley from Kilkelly, which is only down a couple of miles down the way.
Another famous song, yeah, Kilkelly.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. There's a song down there. Yeah. And so yeah, and just talking about the Mass Rock where the Mass was said, and up in the graveyard where there was all other folklore around all these things. And actually, I used a thing called it's duchas.ie. They've got this folklore archive, and I went in. It's in UCD. I was in there, but in the meantime, they've actually digitized a lot of that. So in 1935, every kid in Ireland went home with a copelauer and asked a copybook and asked all the relatives around to tell them stories. So there's all these stories in there, and I found some of the stories my grandfather told me as well. And it's lovely if you have an interest in that. I think you could look up different parishes and you might find something your grandmother or somebody wrote.
Yeah, well, maybe later on when we put this back up, maybe you could throw, if you have a link to that, maybe you can throw it up underneath the broadcast later, because that is very interesting. I love all that kind of stuff.
It's great.
But here's a great gig and a great song, folks, called Where the Sweetest Waters Flow. Enda Reilly, wrap your ears around this. We'll be back in a second.
Way up beyond in the barley field, where the ghost of corn crakes crow, 10 generations of your fathers knew, where the sweetest waters flow, where the sweetest waters flow. Way up above in the Temple Hill, by the big rock in the field, hundreds of people kneeled and prayed, had to hide or forced to flee. I had to hide, forced to flee. Way up above in the old graveyard, a man came, spoke of a dream of hidden gold in the old church wall. He reached inside, it gleamed, it gleamed. He reached inside, it gleamed, it gleamed. My granddaddy told me when I was young, this very field, helping my father save the day. 3 shots we heard as they killed a man for being in love with his country, for being in love with his country. Way or beyond in the barley field, where the ghosts of corncrakes crow, 10 generations of your fathers knew where the sweetest waters flow, where the sweetest waters flow.
Mighty stuff. Great. Look, sounded like a lovely gig. A full house.
It was.
Yeah, the Button
Yeah.
Factory. I'd never played it, but a lovely room, I believe.
Yeah, it's a big stage. It's quite a tall stage. I guess it's made for the rock bands and that type of thing. You do feel a little bit from the rest of the audience, but no, it's a fun room. That makes it feel a bit not as intimate as we were, but still, still people are sitting and listening. Yeah.
Wonderful. The website you mentioned, of course, you sent it over to me there, dukas.ie. Is that the
That's
one
it, yeah.
Where you can discover all that stuff?
Yeah, I think they've an archive of photographs as well, and I've found it a great resource. I actually, as I was looking through that stuff, I wrote another song that I'll be putting out at some point. It's called "A Sign of Rain," and I wrote that because everybody seemed to be told all this folklore around when if the frog's back is black, that's a sign of rain. If it's yellow, it's a sign of all this stuff that really connects you with nature. And so I ended up kind of bringing all that together and putting it into a song and as well. So it's a great resource, because
it is.
Yeah.
Of course, speaking of nature, I mean, you're a geologist by trade, aren't you? You're qualified in that.
I have a degree in it. Yeah. So I love rocks.
Yeah.
I don't know. We all have weird minds, some of us. So my weirdness is that I went to university to do. I wanted to do physics, and maybe astronomy and that type of thing. And but I did geology on just because I was like volcanoes, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting.
Sure.
And and then you go in, and then it's more about rocks and minerals, but it's bringing in chemistry and physics, because you're talking about the properties of rocks and how they break and how that tells you. So then you're out in the field and you're looking at the rock and you're going, what does this mean? Oh, this means that the forces came this way, or this fossil means that this was in this part of the ocean at this time, and all this stuff, which
still interesting stuff.
It takes 4 years of that, and you're kind of, a couple of 100,000 years seems like nothing, because you're thinking in millions of years and all. So I loved it. I although music called me.
It was. I was going to say, it's going to take you back, taking you back before that time, before university, and even maybe before high school, secondary school. Was music a driving force even then? Did you have music in your family, or how did it begin for you?
Music kind of skipped a generation. My actually maybe 2 generations. My great grandparents, I believe, were all box players and fiddle players, and then I think in Mayo it was just times are hard, and there wasn't time for it, as far as I can tell, and people were just working out in the fields and all. And then when we came to Dublin, went to Gael schools, that was kind of trying to get back to that type of thing, and learning the fiddle then at lunchtime in school. And I used to have a problem with the rhythm. My rhythm was questionable, and it took me a while to get the tunes, because I wouldn't have been going to sessions or whatever like that as a kid, or it would have just been learning it in school. And then going to secondary school, high school, is where there was a group of Kyo, and you'd go in, work, learn there, and I was learning fiddle as well at that stage. But I wanted to sing, so hence you pick up a guitar,
I know, I did the same thing with the whistle. And so did any of the trad music stay with you, or did you just kind of, no, it was just kind of a phase at that age? Or
I think when I'm writing melodies or songs in general, I'm thinking first part, second part. Like, the melodies come to me more like a trad tune, even though I'm not a big trad player, or I'm not even a,
I know what you mean.
I back trad. There's a lot of trad over here. In Ann Arbor, I go to the session with Mick Gavin and them here. So I've met a lot of the Irish music over here is trad oriented. So it's kind of to be out, like, they don't have as many singers, so it's nice to be, you've been asked to sing some of them songs. So that's kind of where I've kind of found a little, trying to integrate with people over here and sing some of the songs.
It's a great way to do it. Absolutely is. And of course, so when did songwriting sort of start for you then? Was that later on in the teenage years, or even later again?
Yeah, songwriting started around 16. First guitar, my dad got me at 16. And then my father passed away. So I was trying to deal with that, and then had guitar, started writing lines. And then a friend of mine, Peter Kyo, we were in a group together called the Mongrels. So then we kind of going out in Grafton Street, doing the whole busking thing, and and then playing in the Temple Bar, playing kind of rock covers and traditional stuff. So there was always a blend: Beatles, Simon Garfunkel, but then you had Christy Moore. You have, you've got these different pockets of influence, as we all had growing up. So so that's really where it all came from. And then the songwriting, I kind of had I love an old lecture. Do you know what I mean? So I'd go to IMRO. Were great for having these kind of seminars where they get the lads over from Nashville, Ralph Murphy and Paul Williams and them. So there was, so that's where I think I kind of have a songwriter mentality, and I'm kind of shifting now towards maybe performer artist. There's kind of not such a subtle difference really. It's kind of putting. I'm finding it interesting, because the songwriter is like, it's all about the song. It's all about the song, and we have to do right for the song, and that's kind of inbuilt, But now it's kind of like, well, is it all about the song, or is it all about the audience?
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know. That's where it's like, you want to entertain, but then you don't just want to entertain, because then you kind of forget who you are. So there's this kind of balance between all of that.
I think some of the finest songwriter gigs I've been at are gigs where the performer can kind of encompass all that, where you kind of you can sing heavy songs, whether they're love songs or anti-war songs or songs with a social message, but in between then you have the bit of blah blah, or the few jokes, or but that's an art in itself, isn't it?
Indeed, and some people have that one down too. I think I just tend to ramble a bit and hope that I'm mildly amusing.
That's mildly amusing in itself, absolutely. No, but that's what I mean. Yeah, but what you're saying is that you tend to have to try at least to make everything happen at the one time. The entertainment part of it, the music part of it, and then hit them between the eyes with the great songs, and that, I suppose, is the craft, isn't it?
That's it.
What about? I'm gonna play. Yeah, you had a great bit of success with a lovely song, and you wrote it with or for Aoife Scott all along the
with Aoife Scott. Yeah,
with Aoife Scott. This is a song people may know without actually realizing that you're sort of half behind it. So I thought I'd give it a spin today. But just tell us a little bit about how that
So myself and Aoife, Aoife had a different career, and then she, being part of the Black family, she realized she couldn't get away from music, and she was kind of drawn back into it. But she had to kind of carve out her own niche, as everybody does. But so one of the things she realized was she wanted to write songs, but she didn't know how to go about it. And she knew I wrote songs, and she was aware that I co-wrote songs with people, and I love co-writing with people. It can be frustrating, but you get great songs.
It can be good, it can be bad too.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you can end up with a song that doesn't have a home. It's like you're negotiating between the two, and you're like, now we have something, and it's like, So the thing with working with Aoife was, it was like, okay, we're writing a song for Aoife, for her album, for her fan, for what.
That was the end result.
So it was definitely a proper collaboration, because like Aoife had a goal of, I'd like a song that does this, or that I have, not even that, it was like, I want to express this feeling, and then maybe I'd come up with a melody, or this, that, or the, so it was a lovely, it was tough by times. We met up, and sometimes you wouldn't get anything, do you know what I mean? So but I was delighted to have 6 songs that I co-wrote with Aoife on her first album.
6?
And her latest album, which unfortunately she was on tour over here when we all know what happened, and so she had to go a while without doing. We were looking forward to her coming up here from Nashville, so that's it. But sure, she'll be back hopefully later in the year. And so with that new album, the name of that album is Homebird, and the Homebird song myself and Aoife wrote together as well. So, but while all along the Wild Atlantic Way was very successful for her, and she was on the late and all that with it. So I was delighted, but I couldn't,
Of course, no, it's great. I love the feel of it. It's one of those songs that when you play it and hear it for the first time, you want to replay it, and it has that something about it. But here it is, folks. You may, especially if you're living in Ireland, you would have heard this song a lot on the radio and all over. But it's Aoife Scott singing a song written by herself and the main man, and it is called All Along the Wild Atlantic Way. Enjoy it.
When will you bring me my love? Counting down the days. When will you bring me my love? All along the wild Atlantic way. 60 years in Nova Scotia, waiting for the day that we're returning home. All along the wild Atlantic way. When will you bring me my love? Counting down the days. When will you bring me my love? All along the wild Atlantic way. Remember when we went to Bombay, shipwreck in the bay. We sat and watched the northwest sunset all along the wild Atlantic way. The time that we climbed Crow Patch, we nearly went astray. Our legs were aching, falling off us all along the wild Atlantic way. When will you bring me my love? Counting down the days. When will you bring me my love? All along the wild Atlantic way. Time that we went skinny dipping down a dairy maid, smelling the Galway salted ocean all along the wild Atlantic way. The day that we love, all along the wide Atlantic way. Watch you catch the fish, your dingles, skirts Broadway. Wait for you with the half-light gloaming, all along the wide Atlantic way. Cycling back from the black bullhead, skin salty from its spray. The ocean looming out beyond us, all along the wide Atlantic way. When will you bring me my love, counting down the day? When will you bring me my love, all along the wide Atlantic way? When will you bring me my love, counting down the day? When will you bring me my love, all along the wide Atlantic way? When will you bring me my love, counting down the day? When will you bring me my love, all along the wide Atlantic way?
Yes, that brilliant Wild Atlantic Way. That is a huge song. You must be very proud of that one, sir.
I am indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
And
And
just
they,
sorry, yeah.
yeah, they did it Aoife did a great job, and like the work she did on the album, and gathering people. Like, I'm a bit of a loner when I'm doing stuff, so seeing how people can and being able to kind of record and all that. But I'm just amazed at how well people can like get crews together to record,
to make something like
sound man, then mastering, the amount of it's
that. Huge, but
it is,
it's amazing, and she did a great job. It's a lovely little song. If anybody just joined us, we are speaking to Enda Reilly, and he's the co-writer of that last song. I'm going to put Aoife Scott's website up there as well. That's the last lady you were listening to was Aoife Scott, and the song was written by herself and Enda Reilly, the man we're speaking to now. Enda's website is there, endareilly.com. Can everyone get your music through your website and in physical format, or is it all digital or both?
If you go to the albums part of the website, it's Bandcamp I'm using. So if you want to go direct, you could go direct to bandcamp.com and look up Enda Reilly, and you'll find all my different albums. And also what I've been doing lately is putting the audio from some of the videos that I'm putting on YouTube on there as well. So if you want the audio from the recorded YouTube song.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. So you can get that there. But basically, everything will be linked from endareilly.com. And of course, if you want to follow, if you are watching on Facebook, folks, and you haven't already liked this page, there it is as well, Enda Reilly Music. But,
thanks very
much. So it's all there. Yeah. Please follow him along and get the lowdown. When is your next live stream? You live stream on that Facebook page on Saturday, you said.
Yes, so I'm live streaming again. Back to the live stream. I had an album. I did an EP of recordings from live stream 3 years ago. So now I'm calling it Back to the Live Stream. 12 noon our time here in Detroit. So that's 5 o'clock Irish time, I believe, and 6.
Yes, I think so.
Central European.
6 here, 5 Ireland. Yeah.
So that's it. I'm giving that a shot for the next month anyway. We'll do it every Saturday. I mean, it might get too much eventually, but we might go back to monthly or something.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
For a while, we'll give it
it's
socks.
Also nice to, indeed, and with these things as well, it's even though we're in the middle of lockdown and crisis and stuff, people are getting in the mood again to stream. There's kind of we're all kind of striking when the iron's hot, but there's an energy about it. So
there is.
It just keeps the momentum going, I find, as well.
Yeah. Well, for me, this whole thing, there's kind of it kind of woke me up from slumber, because I was over here going, what am I allowed to do, because I don't have my green card, all this type of thing. But then when this thing hit, I just said, you know what, I'm going to do some videos and get them up there. Then everyone else was doing the live stream. I was like, well, I have everything to do with the live stream. And a couple of people mentioned it. So I did my first one last Saturday, and it was great crack. So going to do it again.
And are the locals, are they all complying to the lockdown rules, or what's kind of going on? Are kind of half the people complying and the other half not, or are they being good there? Or how's it working?
Well, there's always, yeah. I mean, from what I see around me, people are, when we can still go out for a walk, like so.
Yeah, same here, sure.
We still go out for a walk, but you make sure you put as much distance as you can between anyone walking by, and most people now have medical masks on them.
Have they? Okay.
So that's, although there's a shortage of them, so really that's where we've kind of made our own out of bandanas and
yes, indeed,
rubber bands, and that's what we use. But but there's protests against the stay at home.
See, that's going on. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's just there's just everyone. Nobody trusts anyone over here. Even now, if you trust the government and you're on the Trump side, you still have this. They still have a kind of chip on their shoulder regarding the media, that they think there's some. I'm maybe there. I don't know. I'm
know.
Trying
it's a weird one.
Trying to keep it out of it, but I guess
excuse me.
choose that point. But I don't know.
It's almost as if half of America believe everything Trump says, and the other half don't believe a word he says.
Well, there's no middle ground. There's no middle ground here.
Doesn't seem to be.
Party system and all that thing. It's kind of like nobody ever goes, you know what? You have you have a bit of a point there about that. You'll never hear that. There's
no middle ground. As you said, no. It's like it's our way or your way. Yeah, it's crazy.
Where and I guess, like, not that I'm into politics much, but you try and figure it out. And back in Ireland, though, it's kind of like there's too much middle ground with trying to put things together with the way the system the parties into the government, or anyway, I don't know.
I don't know, but it's the weird times as well. Nobody has been through this before, really.
Yes.
So we're all kind of guessing.
Yeah.
I want to say just a quick hello to Chris. He's tuned in from Germany. Hi, Chris. Thanks. He's generally always here. Chris, great to see you, Chris Link. Díach Connor Fowler, agus Cara Mahagat. Thank you for tuning in, Connor. Thanks for tuning in, Cormac, and of course, Linda Collins thinks we're both gorgeous. Maybe she was talking about the song, but I don't think so. I was probably talking about us. But we think you're gorgeous too, Linda. So thanks very much. Thanks for tuning in. So Gaeilge, Táil Gaeilge Agat. You were you good at the Gaelic from day one, or was it something that came a bit later in life for you?
So Gaeilge has been with me since Nínre, which is, what's that? Osberle play school kind of. So school. Since 3, I was in education was always Gaeilge. So primary and Bunskull and Manskull were both all Irish. So had it all the way up there, and then kind of lost it a bit going to university, doing the doing science, not being in the arts building, doing a bit of Gaeilge or whatever. But then afterwards, being kind of reeled back in by just friends you'd make and in the Gaeilge world, and then I started writing songs as Gaeilge. I sent in an album to Ronan McAwee in Radio na Gaeltachta in English, and he said, "Can they get our Ronan Gaeilge again?" And I was like, it just kind of opened a thing in my. I was like, am I allowed to use the language to create? Because so much of it is about trying to learn the grammar and try and get it right and all. The idea to just be creative with it was kind of wasn't something I was aware of. So Ronan opened that door for me. Then I ended up writing an album in Irish. I won a competition with a song of mine, and we went to a minorities languages competition up in Inverness, which was great. Myself and the band at the time. So Gaeilge is, and then I started working as a guitarist through a festival called IMRAM, IMRAM, and they champion translations from other languages into Gaeilge, and Gabriel Rosenstock is one of the main people in there, and Tristan Rosenstock is involved. So I've done performances with a lot of poets in the Irish world and authors who read as Gaeilge, and I would play guitar. So just chatting with them and hanging around, and we did this one all about Sean O'Riordan, who is a poet down in Cork, and so learning about his journals. So that was with Limo Muirhilla, who passed away only last year. Liam was a lovely man, and so yeah, I learned a lot from Liam and from Gabriel. So looking at translations of Gabriel, I would see kind of how he does it, and so I've started translating other songs into Gaelic as well, which I hope to do something about if I can sort out the copyright things and all that there.
Oh,
so,
yeah, okay, of course. I'm just looking over your left shoulder there, and I see a lovely dulcimer. Is that? Can you reach that from there? I so I can get a closer look at that lovely dulcimer behind you there. Yeah, because if it's not too much hassle, just want to see it, because it's a. I know you're monitoring them. You have wires everywhere, of course, but I'm just throwing spontaneous questions at you. But that because I want to play a song that you play this great instrument on.
All right.
But tell us a little bit about this beautiful thing.
So this is a dulcimer made by a man called Warren A. May, in a place called Berea in Kentucky, which I was delighted to get to go to Kentucky on a little holiday last year, and when I saw it, it was my wife and I was like, sure, why not go for it? And it's a lovely thing. It's kind of almost got a bit of a bouzouki sound.
It has, yeah. We were talking about the Joni Mitchell song earlier, Behind the Scenes, and she played one of her songs, probably A Case of You, a few songs I think Joni would have played dulcimer on. Yeah. So it's a gorgeous looking instrument. So
I found it, even though it's the frets are slightly different in that you'll hit the notes of a particular scale. They're not the same as a guitar where you've got all the notes, you know. So, but for me, I like that there's a kind of that slight limitation is interesting to work with, you know.
Yes, it's beautiful. It absolutely is. And what is the Gaelic song that you're going to play for us here on the dulcimer?
So this one's called Áileach sa Cruthú, which I wrote this one as Berla first, which was Beauty in the Making. So people can hear it both in English and in Irish on my YouTube channel. So this is Áileach sa Cruthú, and it was just pondering, the beauty of this thing, and of actually, if you see behind me here as well, is a poem of my friend Stephen James Smith's on the wall, which is called "We Must Create to Know Who We Can Be." So it's this kind of idea of,
yes, indeed, for
people like me anyway, to create, you have to remind yourself to be in that creative mode, because that's how you find out who you are, and there's a beauty to that, I guess.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it's gorgeous, folks. We're going to have I think this is a first on my YouTube channel, and certainly first on the streaming song os Gaeilge. Áileach na Cruthú. Am I saying that correctly? My Irish isn't great anymore.
Sa Cruthú, yeah.
Áileach sa Cruthú from Enda Reilly, folks, on the dulcimer os Gaeilge. Check it out.
Tá an áileach down sa Cruthú, tá maithis sóbal go bard, tá an iarne ann le glacú, ga chain pís, ga chain bula ga glár, ga chain glár, ach an glár. Tashpandam mi khulam adin, kanlam fuhi khalala, arim bola titam the drukle, skawam weakness and down dona run, marta áileach down sa Cruthú, ta mahas sovan Tá an iarne ann le glach Gach ein fish, gach ein bolle gach Gach ein glór Gach ein glór Gach ein glór Ach an glór Holy starmacha an tair wig Slag for na shanna green Tour doing foska on the fonu Ta gala agus na shan mahas a autu Mar ta alach down sa propo Ta mahas so on the bar Ta an earnya out the glocku Gach ein fish, gach ein bolle gach Gach ein fish, gach ein bolle gach Gach ein fish, gach ein bolle gach Gach glór Gach ein glór Gach ein glór Ach an glór
Mahan Buchel.
Really?
My Irish. Yeah, there's something about the Gaelic language, isn't there? When you hear it spoken or slán. I heard it was you on the video saying slán.
Oh, was it?
I think it was. I heard it slán. It's like Ghost in the Machine. But yeah, there's. It's wonderful to hear the Irish language again, spoken or something. You know, I get to hear it very much out here, but
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
you probably don't either, I suppose, over there.
Well, actually, there's an American lad called Tobiah, who's an amazing fiddle player at the session in Conor O'Neill's pub, and he's very interested. And one evening I met up with him to have a chat on Gaeilge, just for him to, and he was I guess he felt he didn't have the outlet to chat to anyone, so it was just before the session we had a chat. And Michael Gavin over here, he's got an interest in as well. He's a banjo and fiddle player here in Detroit. He's got a couple of fuckles, so there's definitely an interest. And actually, down in the Gaelic League, they have Wednesdays, and Gaeilge is taught. And I went into them and sang a few songs with them, and had a chat with them one night. So there is, and they make a lovely. They've made this kind of cards out about learning Gaeilge, and they're fantastic. And I believe they're making a book out of it actually. So there's definitely interest in it over here. If there isn't all that much of it spoken around, I believe there's a lot less Irish people in Detroit than there used to be, as it were.
Yeah,
there was a golden age, kind of, I guess, maybe in the 60s, 70s. As it were, so that's it. Yeah,
I do believe so. But I wanted to ask you before I forget about your writing process itself. Do you take a lot of notes and kind of come back and put stuff down to guitar? Do you normally sit down with guitar and write music first, or does it really depend on how do you approach it?
Yeah, I guess
songwriting itself.
I don't have a set way of doing it. I think over the years I've come at it from different ways. I mean, my interest in songwriting means that I would have done an awful lot of exercises to kind of, I've written songs a cappella, and then it's like trying to figure out the chords. It's like, what chord am I going to do? So I have a few songs at the moment, like that one, the one I was talking about, Sign of Rain. I kind of put some minor chords to it, and it was kind of, it's working, but I don't know whether I prefer it a cappella or with the, it's kind of, I'm not sure where the home is going to be for that one. And then other times you'd start with keep a trickle flowing. I think that one came from just that phrase. I was like, I liked the idea of that phrase, and then you get out the guitar and you say it and keep a trick of flow, and and then that would come, and then you'd see where it goes. And so I think for me, those kind of more personal ones, they kind of organically happen from one idea, then a musical idea, then back to more lyrics. And it's, especially if you get a first verse and a chorus, sometimes you can end up in a little loop around. So then you have to go, okay, leave that down, write out the lyric. You'll have the melody in your head, and then you're on your computer and you might write the next verses. So it's, to me, it's about coming at it from different angles to try and get it, move it along, to try and get it to its finished state.
Yeah, and it's always kind of generally guitar, is it? Do you write on other instruments apart from guitar and maybe dulcimer now? Or
the dulcimer, mandolin a little bit. I used to do a bit of mandolin. The tunings was a thing that helped me, I think, get out of certain little ruts that I might be in, just going to A minor, C, G, or whatever on the guitar, and you'd be just, so then you go into open G or you go into open D. You're not fully aware of what you're doing, but in a sense that opens this kind of, because you're not caught within anything. You're in a creative space by virtue of not really knowing what you're doing.
Absolutely right.
Kind of a weird way of putting it. But so that's, well, obviously now I kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm not thinking. That's where I think like I have a lot of friends who are I would call them, real musicians. They've got musicians' minds where they're counting out the time signatures, and they know all this is 1 4 5 minor this, and I've looked at that and tried to, but that's not what comes first to me. It's trying to feel it and then maybe thinking about some of that stuff after. Anyway, so there's so many different ways of going.
It varies for everybody. I was just kind of curious about your approach to it.
Well, I guess
everybody's different. There
was something Neil Young. I remember reading Neil Young had an interview, and his thing was, that if you have an idea, it behooves you to go and give it time. So if an idea comes, I feel like it's like a rodeo, the bull, you have to stay on the bull for 8 seconds or something, and if you do, you get a song. And so it's just about how long can you keep with it in that first instance. I think that's important to give it the time it needs. But then sometimes the songs take years. So some of the ones I've put out now, it just seems right that some of these songs like Keep It Trickle Flowing that are about me talking to myself in a way about not feeling good. I feel like maybe they're useful now to other people because there's kind of a mass feeling a bit like that. Do you know what I mean?
So lost, Before I want to end the show with Keep It Trickle Flowing because it's a great uplifting feel good song. But before that, we were chatting and you mentioned the brilliant Stephen James Smith earlier on. And I thought maybe I'd tell us a little bit about the collaboration, the W.B. Yeats poem that you worked with Stephen. I have it right up here, September 1913.
So September 1913. So I've been putting music to poetry as well as backing up the poetry on guitar. That's a kind of its own thing. But even at school, I was putting melodies to poems so I remembered. So for me, some of the meaning of a poem only comes out after I've kind of put a melody to it, and I start to see it almost in 3D or something, So I've done a lot of Yeats stuff, so I've come back to that. So I actually have a whole album of Yeats stuff up on Bandcamp at the moment. But before that, myself and Stephen James Smith did an album, and this one, September 1913. When I was looking at it, going through poems, not all of them speak to you, as it were. You know what I mean? As wanting to be a song, to put it that way.
Yeah, that's true. This
one jumped out because it was like it had a refrain: "Romantic Ireland's dead and gone. It's with O'Leary.
With O'Leary in the grave."
I just felt that'll sing well, and so then.
It sure does. It was a wonderful. It just blew me away when I flashed Stephen's website there, folks. Stephen James Smith is a great poet, Dublin resident. I believe he's still Dublin resident.
He is, yeah.
If you want to check him out, but this is kind of the work he does. What you're going to see now is a collaboration between Stephen and Enda, and a WB8's poem set to music, guitar playing by Enda. And this, I love this. I want to dedicate it to my friend Michael over in Ghent there tonight. He's a big Yates fan, a big fan of me as well. Not as big a fan of me as he is of WB8s. Just to winding him up now. But here it is. Let's give it a spin. I love this. And Enda and Stephen James Smith. Romantic Ireland's Dead and Gone. It's with O'Leary in the Grave. This is called September 1913, folks.
What needs you been and sense and fumbling and greasy till and add the halfpence to the pence and prayer to shivering prayer until you dry the marrow from the bone. For men were born to pray and save. Romantic Ireland, it's dead and gone. It's with O'Leary and in the grave. Romantic Ireland's dead and gone. It's with O'Leary in the grave. Yet they were of a different kind. The names that still your childish play. They have gone about the world like wind. For little time have they to pray. For whom that hangman's rope was spun, and what God help us could they say? Romantic Ireland, it's dead and gone. It's with O'Leary and the grave. Romantic Ireland's dead and gone. It's with O'Leary in the grave. Was it for this the wild geese spread their grey wing upon every tide? For this that all that blood was shed, for this Edward Fitzgerald died, and Robert Emmett, and Wolfe Tone, and all the delirium of the brave. Romantic Ireland, it's dead and gone. It's with O'Leary and in the grave. We turn those years again and call those exiles as they were in all their loneliness and pain. You'd cry someone's yellow hair as maddened every mother's son. They weighed so light and what they gave, but let them be, they're dead and gone. They're with O'Leary and the grave. I let them be there, dead and gone. They're with O'Leary in the grave.
How good was that, folks? Amazing stuff, and amazing guitar playing as well, Enda. Really,
Thanks very much.
Top class, both of you. Stephen James Smith there and Enda Reilly. That was that blew me away when I heard it first. I mean, when was it made? Was it last year or the year before or long ago?
No, it's a couple of years ago now.
It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, like the album was 2014, so we're talking sometime back then.
Wow, yeah, it was just brilliant. Michael Connor says go hauling. Michael the dog, Michael the hunt, my buddy. Yeah, I knew he loved that. I shared it to him last night, and he loves it and he loves it now. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. And Maureen.
That's me, mother.
How are you, Ma? I thought it might be.
Yeah.
Ma Reilly, it's lovely to see you. Usually I have Da Rui here as well, but he's not here with us tonight. But
yeah,
I'm glad Ma Reilly is there. How are you, Maureen?
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. Lovely to see you. He's in good hands. We're minding him well. After him. He's all right. He's all right. Not to worry. Send tea bags, and he'll be grand.
That's it. Tea bags.
And chocolate. He'll be grand. He'll be grand. What you plan? Any plans to go back? I mean, when the dust settles, have you? Well, did you have tours planned, or had you gigs planned in Ireland, or what's the plan for Ireland this year, if any?
I had nothing planned because I was kind of stuck here waiting for. I wasn't able to leave, and I wasn't able to do anything here, so I've been kind of not twiddling my thumbs, but I've been writing, and I've plenty of songs ready for. I'll be continuing doing videos and learning a bit more about video and that type of thing. To be honest, I was hoping to be home for Christmas last year, but that didn't materialize. So I guess it's hoping to be home for Christmas. That's kind of the
that's kind of what we're all hoping at this stage, just to hopefully we'll be allowed out to play again. Soon enough.
Yeah, gig wise, I was at a few of the festivals there last year and met some of the people from the Irish festivals over here. So that's kind of what I'd like to focus on getting into to get some gigs at those
around that area
over here. Yeah, that's currently it. But so I don't know. And hopefully when I go home, I do a gig or two. Do you know?
yeah, indeed. Sometimes it's nice to go home and not do gigs as well. Sometimes it's just to go home and see mommy and see the family, and exactly, it can be lovely. But the time flies on these things. I can't believe we're gone an hour already. But I want to thank everybody who's joined us, who stuck it out for the hour. This will be watchable later on, folks, as well. But before we say goodbye, I want to play a song, the Keep It Trickle Flowing song, which is one of your newer songs and a really feel good song. I love this. You put it up on your social media there not too long ago, and I was bopping away to it. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration or the feeling behind that.
Just I'm not sure where the phrase came to me, but it felt like it wanted to be in a song. Keep it trickle flowing, and structure. I mean, I'm a songwriter, so I'm thinking of structures and all this type of thing. It's strange. The first two parts are the same, and then I have a little different bit at the end, and then it all goes around again. And then it was actually only on the day that I kind of decided to try and get people to sing along with me, and that it was maybe a bit possible. So I've never sung it live, and no one's ever actually sung along with me.
Oh, right, it was okay. It was brilliant in the video. There's a little talking bit at the beginning. I think I forwarded, but you're just like, come on, I think you still do it. Sing along.
Join me and sing along. So I'm hoping that's my hope for this song, is that when I do play it live.
So it's your last chance, lads. Those of you who are left here watching live, Keep It Trickle Flowing. It's a great anthem for the times we're living in now, for sure. Keep the head up, keep the flag flying, and keep a trickle flowing. This will be our last song. Then we'll come back and I'll say good luck to you. All right.
Grand.
This is great, folks. You'll be tapping along to this fine song. Keep a trickle flowing. Enda Reilly, he the man.
So join in at home. Your bit is we'll come back to it at the end. It goes. Keep a trickle flowing, keep a spark glowing, 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 lovely, keep a trickle flowing, keep a spark glowing, keep a trickle flowing, keep a spark glowing. So keep a trickle flowing when your river is in drought, and keep the spark glowing when your flames have all gone out, and sing your song low when the crowd have all gone home, for someday soon we all will sing along. Your river will be raging, your flames will light the night,
song of freedom. You'll find a tribe you believe in. You'll prepare and share a feast with everyone. For this same river that flows before me flows for the whole human family. This same river will flow forever, winding its way through the trees. So keep a trickle flowing when your river is in drought. Keep a spark glowing when the flames have all gone out. And sing your song below when the crowd have all gone home. For tomorrow everyone will sing along. Your river will be raging, your flames will light the night. Your eagle will be soaring bright. You'll sing a song of freedom. You'll find a tribe you believe in. You'll prepare and share a feast with everyone. For this same fire that burns within me burns for the whole human family. This same fire will glow forever with the breeze that blows through the trees. With the breeze that blows through the trees. All right, help me along here, everyone. So keep a trickle flowing and keep a spark glowing. Keep a trickle flowing. Keep the 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 spark glowing. Keep a trickle flowing. Let's keep the spark glowing.
The anthem of our times.
All right, everyone.
Really, yeah, anthemic indeed. But look at your songs are great. Yeah, lovely to talk to you, and thank you for spending this hour with us here on the channel, Enda.
And thanks very much for having me. You put out the invite there a while back, and thanks for being patient with me again.
Not at all. We're busy people, sure.
Yeah.
Not at all. I know. And folks, don't forget. We'll just give them a quick reminder that on your Facebook page this Saturday,
Yes.
around, would you say noon, your time?
Noon Eastern time, which is
Okay.
5 o'clock GMT.
Lovely. And then you can check out Enda Stream. He'll be on there. EndaReilly.com. We'll give you all the other info that you need.
Yep.
There's blogs and there's videos and all kinds of stuff on there. Thanks again, Mr. Stay safe and well. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Those of you who stuck with us for the duration.
Thanks, everyone.
From all over the place. And thank you, Connor. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mammy Reilly. Thank you, everybody, for dropping in. It's great to see you all. And Toge go boge and
Slán
Slán go fóil, okay?
Yeah, lovely to see you.
So there you are, folks. Keep a trickle flowing and keep your spark glowing, as Enda Reilly would say. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in to episode 31 of Raving with Rua. This is a big YouTube channel, well, a growing YouTube channel. I've got over nearly 300 videos on the channel here, mainly of all of singer-songwriters, really. Check them out. TheRWRroom.com will give you all of the information you need there. You'll see it there. And thank you all for tuning in. And I'll see you very soon on the next Raving with Rua. Stay safe and well and mind yourselves.